Good evening, and thank you for joining us on this Tuesday. You're watching the 9 at Night. I'm Stephania Jimenez, and tonight we start with good news. A little girl who was reported missing has been found safe. We told you about 6-year-old Araceli Flores earlier today, and this evening, San Antonio police told us that she has been found safe and sound. Also tonight, we finally hear from the family of the teenager who was shot by a San Antonio police officer weeks ago. As 17-year-old Eric Cantu fights for his life, his family tells us just how extensive his injuries are, and they were accompanied by their new high-profile civil rights attorney, Ben Crump. During the news conference, Cantu's family called for prayers, justice, and also change. The Cantu family says that every day is a battle between medications and the ventilator to keep Eric alive.
He's such a fighter, he's so strong, and he's doing this. We just want to be there by his side every day to make sure he can breathe, make sure he's able to wake up and see tomorrow.
Now, the SAPD did fire James Brennan. He now faces 2 counts of aggravated assault by a public servant. A stunner at the Bexar County Justice Center this afternoon. A former Precinct 2 captain scheduled to take the stand against his former boss got immunity, but then was told to leave without testifying in open court. So Mark Garcia was once Barrientos Vela's captain and the only other member of her administration to be indicted. Prosecutors granted him immunity in exchange for testifying about possible lawbreaking by Barrientos Vela. But Judge Belia Mesa sided with the defense today, granting its motion to exclude Garcia's testimony.
We never had any issue with what Mark Garcia was going to say. The issue that we had was that it was an injustice that Michelle's lawyer had represented him against her.
Barrientos Vela faces between 2 years probation and 10 years in prison when the final portion of her sentencing gets underway in early January. Federal law enforcement and prosecutors are trying to find victims of malware that got their personal information stolen across the globe. At a press conference in San Antonio today, they announced the unsealing of an indictment against a Ukrainian man accused of helping to operate the malware known as Raccoon Info Stealer. The malware was leased to criminals for roughly $200 a month, and they used it to secretly steal people's personal information. Now, the FBI has set up a website where you can enter your email address to see if it was among the stolen data that they've recovered so far. If so, if it was, you're going to get an email back with a notification and also instructions.
So those instructions are going to help them to kind of go through the system so we can identify them as victims, determine if there are any losses, and then take whatever next steps.
Through the website the website, by the way, worked earlier today. KSAT tried to access it again in the past few hours. It received a message that the page was, quote, not found. Now, we asked the FBI about it, and it says that it's looking into that. We'll let you know. The numbers are in. 32,005 people cast their votes on the first day of early voting. As we told you, yesterday was the first day of early voting for the midterm election. That's going to last until November 4th. On your screen, which you're about to see right there, is a list of the busiest locations that saw more than 1,000 voters in one day. So we're letting you know about this because if you want to avoid a crowd, here's what you do. You just stop by Our Lady of the Lake University or the Frank Garrett Multi-Service Center because both of those locations had less than 100 voters yesterday. By the way, Election Day is November 8th. Now we're going to take things outside. Yes, friends, you know this. The humidity is back. But let's see what else we have in store this week. Here's meteorologist Adam Caskey with your forecast.
It feels like fall again, so have a jacket ready to go early in the morning. 47 degrees at 7 a.m. Then we warm up really quickly. By noon, we're at 72, nothing but sunshine, and 81 for the afternoon high temperature. Thursday, fairly similar, but 53 in the morning, still near 80 in the afternoon. Hey, Friday morning, have an umbrella within reach. We'll likely have some scattered showers and non-severe thunderstorms before sunrise Friday, and then kind of scattered across South and Central Texas through the late morning hours. Friday afternoon, 76, also windy on Friday. And then this weekend, by Saturday, a high of 73.
Okay, let's talk about Hurricane Ian, though. You know that it's obviously gone, but it's going to be a long time before our friends in Florida recover. The state's Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services says that the preliminary damage assessment for agricultural losses from the storm could be up to $1.8 billion. Ian destroyed forestry, infrastructure, citrus trees. And listen to this, the total losses for citrus producers could reach $675 million. Hurricane Ian was a Category 4 storm when it hit southwest Florida last month. Not as many people are interested in getting COVID boosters. That's according to the Centers for Disease Control. Seniors in the U.S. are more likely to be vaccinated than any other age group, but the upkeep, that's gone down with each additional shot. The CDC reports that about 93% of people age 65 and older got their initial vaccine series, but that less than 10% of the population has received the most updated booster shots. Today, schools here in town learn more about Day of the Dead. They created altars to celebrate and also honor loved ones who have passed away. Students at Herf and Kelly Elementary Schools have been building an ofrenda, an altar, for this year's Muertos Fest at Hemisphere Park. The altar includes photos from community members of their loved ones who have died. 4th and 5th grade students, they've been working on the altar after school and also on Saturdays. And you know what? All that you see right there, they've been making it all by hand.
My favorite part of this project is making the background where they're putting the monarch butterfly, because I have to concentrate and I have to be very careful with all the painting.
She's adorable. But yes, you do have to be careful because it's important, right? Now, the 10th annual Dia de los Muertos Festival begins October 29th. Here's the deal, though. If you can't make it to the big event at Hemisphere Park, you can catch our primetime special, which is going to air on Sunday at 8 p.m. right here on KSAT 12, KSAT.com, and also KSAT Plus. A local college is going to be able to grow its education programs after a donation. Whataburger made the donation to Palo Alto College this morning. The school works to make college more accessible to students in our community, and one of the ways that it does that is by offering high school students the chance to earn college credit, even an associate's degree, while they're still in high school.
What we're really doing is we're taking down the barriers and the walls, and we're saying when students are graduating from high school, saying, you know what, there is some opportunity, and I'm not thinking about it because I've been to Palo Alto College for maybe my whole life.
Did you see that guayabera with the Whataburger symbols there? Pretty cute. Today's donation totaled $10,000. Now, speaking of fast food, you recognize that, right? Yeah, the McRib. It's making a comeback again, but only for a farewell tour. And yes, McDonald's is calling it the McRib Farewell Tour. It's going to be back on the menu October 31st for a Halloween that's more saucy than spooky. A 520-calorie sandwich with seasoned boneless pork dipped in tangy barbecue sauce and topped with chopped onions and pickles is famous for being a favorite limited-time treat for the fast food giant. And you have until November 20th to make your McRib goodbyes. I have a feeling they'll bring it back, though. But hey, listen, if you're on a diet, today could be a really good cheat day because it is National Greasy Foods Day. I thought that was every day. So take your pick. French fries, onion rings, chicken wings, burgers, fried chicken, pizza, donuts. Yes, they're sweet, but you may forget that they're actually fried. Also, it's state fair season, so you can find plenty of greasy options at your local one. Just don't go overboard. As we all know, moderation, right? That's key. And remember that tomorrow you can go back to your healthier choices. For now, we're going to have to leave it there. The 9 at Night returns tomorrow, where it's going to be a much healthier day. Have a lovely night, and we'll see you then.